My name is Jared James. If you aren't familiar with me, I'm best known as an entrepreneur that gets the unique opportunity to coach and train agents and brokers in the real estate world and speak at conferences in front of thousands of people. But it wasn't always that way for me. What separates me from so many others is that I've actually done everything that I want you to be able to do. For that reason, this is the place to come if you want to learn the strategies needed to succeed in today's marketplace. This is the Jared James Today Show.
Hey everyone, Jared James here, and welcome to episode 19 of the Jared James Today Show. Today, we're going to talk about, do you have to be on social media? Which I know a question that a lot of you ask yourselves, whether you do it outwardly to other people or whether you think it inwardly. We've all asked this question. Want to start off though, guys, by saying thank you to all of you that have been watching. Make sure if you like this one, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, share it with somebody else, subscribe on this channel, and then there's a little alert thing that you can turn on so whenever we put up a new video, you hear about it. So let's talk about this. Do you have to be on social media? And the easy answer to that question is actually no. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to wear shoes to work. You don't have to drive. There's a lot of things you don't have to do. The real question you should be asking yourself is, should you be on social media? And I feel like this is, obviously I'm covering this because I hear it a lot. I go and do a lot of live events and I talk to people and I see how people respond and I hear the questions they ask me. And so this is something that goes through a lot of people's heads. And I feel like we've kind of gotten to the point where this isn't debatable anymore. See, if you're watching this, chances are you're either in real estate or you're an entrepreneur of some kind, or you're lost and this is on in the background. I guess there's many different reasons, but chances are you're probably in real estate or you're probably an entrepreneur or something like that, which means that you are in a people business, which means that you run a business, which means that you do more sales, you make more revenue, you make more money when you are in front of people, when you are an option. And so when I say, do you have to? No. Should you? Yes. It's because of the simple fact that you need to go where people are. That's how you make more money. And there was something that came out recently which I think is absolutely amazing, and it showed that social media actually makes up over 52% of all web traffic. Not like, it's literally social media. I almost think that term isn't correct anymore, calling it social media, because it's almost like it's literally bigger than the internet. Like, people spend, right before we started here, I was asking the people in my office, and I said, guys, when you wake up in the morning, how many of you, first thing you do is pick up your phone? They all raised their hand. I'm like, how many of you, first thing you do, you go to social sites stuff? They all raised their hand. All that matters is where people are. I did an event I think it was a couple weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. I was with one of our clients, Remax Preferred in Toledo, shout out guys. And another time, a couple weeks before that, I was in Temecula, California. Shout out to ERA Donahoe guys, Donahoe Realty, two very good clients, awesome clients. And I said to them guys, to both of them, I said, guys, I never imagined a day when I would be in Temecula. I never imagined a day when I would be in Toledo. But why am I here? Because you're here. And all that matters for me in my business is where you are. I don't get to make the decision about what's cool, what. All that matters is where you are, and that determines where I go, because I, just like you, am in a people business. And when you start to look at the fact that social is so huge, 52% of all traffic, and we need to get in front of people, that being an option is more important than being the best, that referrals are starting to decline very sharply, and we'll talk about that in a second. Look at things like Facebook and Instagram. Literally 3/4 of all Facebook and Instagram users go on there a minimum of once a day, according to a Pew Research study. That is insane. 3/4 are on there a minimum of once a day. Now, why is social important when we know that these people are going on there once a day, that they're checking their phones first thing in the morning, because we are an industry where we were taught for years to stay top of mind. That's what's important, right? So we did the easy things like sending out postcards and whatever. And why do we like doing that? Because there's no rejection. We could just send it out there and then kind of go, hopefully somebody responds. Throw out another batch of 200, hopefully someone responds. And it's nice and easy. There's no rejection. And all of a sudden, social comes along, and it's kind of interconnected this world where we can stay top of mind with people in completely non-intrusive ways. When I send you a newsletter, and I'm trying to stay top of mind, so I've got my email list, and I send you a newsletter that says, here's the current mortgage rates. That is so old school, it's mind-boggling. here's the world we live in, okay? I want to know what the mortgage rates are. Siri, what are the mortgage rates? I don't need your newsletter. It's a different world right now. And so knowing that, you want to start to find ways to stay in touch with people, to stay top of mind, that go beyond that. And so when you comment on something and you mention somebody's date night, or you jump in there and you mention something about somebody's kid that was adorable or something like that, what happens is that you have these little triggers that all of a sudden, they momentarily think about you. And what's so cool about social is that it's not just content, it's context, right? The more that we start to associate with somebody, the more context we get with them. I use this example all the time, but it's just the truth. When I put out a picture of my kids getting on a bus for the first day of school and it gets 1,500 likes or whatever it gets, it's not because people care about some young kid getting on a big yellow bus. It's because it's my kids, right? Because they have context with me. And all of those people that go and comment and say something amazing and do, I know so many of you and I feel a certain way about you when I don't even know you. But then I see you at events and I feel a certain way and there's that emotional tug, whatever, because you've said nice things about my kids or because you're commenting. And how long does that take? It takes like half a second if I round up to the nearest half a second, right? Like that's literally how long it takes. And so we have this ability today to stay top of mind in non-intrusive ways. You now have abilities on places like Facebook to go and create lists and actually create lists where you have past clients, current clients, almost like a CRM, and you can go click on those lists and only see their updates. And you could be spending your time not just Facebook stalking and seeing what your ex-boyfriend's doing or doing whatever, but actually going and taking 10 minutes and doing nothing but engaging with the people that you need to remember you. Remember the stat I use all the time where I say 89% of all people say they'll work with you again at the time of the closing, but only 11% actually do? It's not their job to remember you. It's your job to make them remember you, which means that we need to go where they are. Why do we go to networking events? Why do we have client appreciation? Because then we're present. And we're thinking about each other, and we remember each other, and we remember that, oh yeah, I need to send that person business. And we remember this is one of the easiest ways ever to do that. Social. Go where people are. And this is where people are. Billions and billions of people, and it's not just the youngins anymore. Like, it's everybody. It's like my parents. It's like my grandparents, while it's also my kids, while it's where everyone is. 52% of all web traffic, social media, right? Why else is it important? Because when you look at today's world and how people decide who they're going to use and where are they checking you out, they're checking you out at the same place that you're checking them out. Like everybody I'm looking at in here, before I hired them, I looked at all their social profiles. Like, they don't know we did that, but we all did. Like, we all see like who someone is, right? So the same way you're going and checking people out, many times when they're thinking about using you, guess where they're going and checking out? They're checking out your social profiles, okay? So that's another reason why you want. Why else is it important? This is probably the number one reason why I think social is so important today. It's because it allows you the ability, and please get this, like if you ignore everything else that I say today, just listen to this next 3 minutes or whatever it's going to be. It allows you to be direct to consumer. Okay? We have had some major news come out recently where it was leaked that Amazon, for example, was going to start getting into referrals within real estate and playing that game. And you have Zillow now giving off leads and to realtors, and you not being direct, them now giving it to you, and all these other places that are doing that. What social gives you the ability to do, with referrals going down, this isn't my opinion, this is what facts are telling us right now. With referrals going down, with people going through all these other portals who have hundreds and millions, if not billions of dollars to bring them to themselves and then pass them on to you, is it gives you an ability to be direct to consumer. To not have a middleman, to have them come directly to you. And you know, I think about this a lot, and this is a little weird, but it's how I think. And I think about things like the Backstreet Boys. Like the Backstreet Boys in today's world would have had a longer run as far as their run went of popularity, of record sales, of these things, right? And the reason why it didn't happen is they were right before the social boom. The reason why it didn't happen for them is because they relied on things like NBC, ABC, these other shows, these other places that had distribution. Now you look at today and you see things like Katy Perry having 90-something million followers on Instagram, or Justin Bieber, or whatever this may be. And the truth is, 10, 15 years ago, Justin Bieber's career would have been over 5 years ago or 3 years ago. When he made all the mistakes and they said he's washed up and they went, next, who's next? They would have went, hey, Backstreet Boys, time for NSYNC. Hey, NSYNC, time. That's what they would have done. But the Biebs had hundreds of millions of people following him on all these different platforms, and he went, no, 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 Today Show, I don't need you. All my people come directly to me. So when I have a single or I have something to do, I just shoot it out to them, and I don't need you. And then the Today Show starts calling the Biebs, and they go, hey, we're Beliebers. Would you come on the show here and please let everyone know you're coming? Because we now need you. Why? Because social allowed us to go direct to consumer. And so you may not be a recording album star person, whatever you want to call it. You may not be one of those things, but you are somebody who relies on people following you, who relies on people using you. And so the example is just as true for you. It's no different for me, by the way, guys. When I first started, and I was trying to get a following amongst you guys and I was calling, I don't want to name them, but different magazines and different brands, and can I just do something? Can I do something for free? And then I would, basically kick my heels together when they would send something out of mine and like 7 people would comment, and I was like, oh my God, I've made it, and I was relying and whatever. And then over time what happened was I started realizing what I have with social and what I have with our email distribution list and what I have with all these other things, and I went, I can be direct to consumer. And so I started building a massive email list. Many of you get our emails. I started building a big social following and doing these things. And now what happens is they call us and say, would you put this out? Would you write about this and send it to your database? Would you go, why? Because exactly what I'm trying to teach you is exactly what we've done and what we continue to do, which is to be direct to consumer, which in my case is you, but in your case is buyers and sellers. Before they go through all the portals and you don't have to pay to see them, you need to be direct to consumer, which means you're top of mind, which means that you stop making up excuses about how you're not on social because you don't want to hear that Jane had chicken for dinner, those kind of lame excuses, and realize all that matters is that connection, that context, that time with each other, and your excuses are simply keeping you back from doing whatever it is that you could have done if you were listening to what it is that I'm saying right now, okay? Social is not about you wanting to do it, it's not about that. It's about, again, the fact that that's where people are, okay? So where do you need to be? Obviously Facebook. Facebook's a monster. Like when you get into the details of the stats like I do, even the stuff where they say, well, younger people, college kids aren't on Facebook. Bull crap. They're all on Facebook. They're just not commenting and doing that stuff. The visibility is what matters. They're still there. You need to not only have your profile, you need to have your business page. That's where you can run your promoted posts. That's where you can run your ads off of. And for those of you that go, well, I don't want to pay to run an ad. I don't want to. Look, you pay for leads one way or the other. You either pay for them in time or you pay for them in a quicker way through actually getting your message in front of people. And if you've seen our training on the Facebook training on how to get leads and whatever, there's never been a greater opportunity to get any message you want in front of every single person in your community. And many of you are standing back and still waiting for your phone to ring, okay? Instagram, huge. If you're not on Instagram right now, if you're not sure like what to post, what to do, like all of those sites that, I don't want to name them right now because I don't want to put them down, but you can go put something on it and it shoots out to all of your social sites and whatever. That's terrible. And the reason why that's terrible is because all the different sites have almost like different languages. People expect different things from them. And if you start taking one message and putting it out to all 5 places you're on, people are going to stop following you because it's just not valuable to them. So go look at what I do on Instagram. Go look at what other people do on Instagram, different than what they do on Facebook, different than what they do on Snapchat, different than what they do on Twitter, different. And by the way, I did say Snapchat, right? Like Snapchat, when you look at millennials who make up 61% of the overall real estate market, over 30% of millennials are on Snapchat every single day. And that is growing, by the way, okay? Why? Because you're forced to watch what it is that's in front of you before it's gone forever. And that's unique to Snapchat, okay? So Snapchat stories, Instagram stories, all of these things matter. When people say to me, well, which one should I do? I don't really know what to do. Which one? My response is always, which article of clothing are you going to put on today? It's not how it works. You don't get to say, like if someone showed up in the office here and they were like, hey, today's a pants day and that's all I went with. It's going to be freaking weird. It's going to be like, no, that doesn't work, right? You don't get to choose that. You have to really look at these things and say, where are consumers? Where are my people? That's where I need to go, right? We are looking at this in a way that is almost unlike any other way we look at our lives. We don't get to wake up and say, I don't really feel like showering. It's just 17 minutes I don't have today to try to prep and get ready. And, you know, deodorant really? Like, I'm just not in the mood for that today. We don't get to do that, right? We know that there are certain things that we do in order to be a part of civilized society. Like, that's just how things go. There's also things within your business you don't get to choose. Some of you love social, and it's a great outlet for you, and you love engaging with people, and others of you aren't like that. But I'll remind you, many of you, you're either in real estate or you rely on people. I'm not a social guy. Like, I don't like sharing my stuff. I don't like doing that. But this is the job that I'm in, right? I use the example all the time, like a lumberjack doesn't get to wake up and go, just not into that cutting tree thing today. It's just not today. That's your job. So you have to look at it like that and say, there are some things I need to do in this new world of real estate in order to stay in front of people, because as I say all the time, the industry hasn't changed, but how we get to the point of conversion has changed, which means we need to find ways to get direct to consumer, and there is no easier and better way than social. So what else? We have Facebook, Instagram, we have Snapchat, we have Twitter, we have YouTube. Google came out. Many of you are watching this on YouTube right now. It's why I'm so big on this. And I'm like, subscribe. Now there's a little bell. Go hit alert so you get notified every time I put a video up. Like YouTube, Google came out with a stat and said by 2019, 80% of all content will be consumed through video. Okay? Now think about that. 80% of all content will be consumed through video. So there's another Jared James Today show that I shot on how to get over your fear of video. You need to go check that out because it's not optional anymore, right? Why would you put 100% effort in to try to fight for the 20% space? You know, it'd be like saying I don't believe in the internet when 92 to 96% of people are searching online before they pick a buyer, before they pick an agent to buy or sell. It'd be like saying, well, I'm going all in on newspapers or something outside of the internet because I'm going to fight for that 4 to 8% market. It just doesn't make sense to do that, okay? So you want to be on these places. You want to make sure, like I said, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. By the way, Instagram, Snapchat, you want to be doing both of the stories because that's where the attention is right now. YouTube, Twitter, those are the ones that I'm really, people always ask me, should I be on LinkedIn? I mean, I guess if you're looking for a job, but LinkedIn from a real estate perspective or not, sometimes there's great articles on those things and I'm really interested in what their ads platform is doing. But right now there's just a much better return on the other ones that I've mentioned, okay? So let's go over 3 really quick tips before we close here that can kind of help you. Number 1, make it simple to connect with you. If you follow me on any level, you know that I do the www.connectwithjared.com, okay? And why do I do that? Because when you go there, the 5 or 6 places I'm active on that I do different things on each one of them, and a lot of you follow me on all of them because they're all different things, it allows you to go to one place, connectwithjared.com, click on the one you want to connect with and connect. Rather than going, hey guys, on Instagram I'm this, on YouTube I'm this, on Facebook personal profile I'm on this, on the fan page I'm this, rather than confusing you, connectwithjared.com. Nice and simple. So all of you need to go buy a domain, use a landing page. You can just Google how to do that, super simple, okay? And have some kind of a connect with whatever or some kind of a place where you're making it nice and simple for people, because the more simple it is, the more people will act. The more confused people are, they don't act, okay? Second point, second tip, don't be perfect, be vulnerable, okay? I said this when we talked about video, and I said perfection is not the goal, connection is the goal. And social is no different. It's not a place to be perfect, because then you're not believable. Now don't be an idiot either, okay? But be vulnerable. Those of you that follow me on Instagram with the stories, and you follow me on Snapchat religiously and stuff, you know that I do the hashtag Did You Sweat Today? And just about every day I put up a Did You Sweat Today, and they're usually not the most like flattering, hair done, like just by the very hashtag, I'm sweating at that moment. But you know what? That connects so many of you to me. It's one of the most common things I get when I go to events and stuff. People have the hashtag Did You Sweat Today bands on, and they'll yell out Did You Sweat Today? And that's not even what I do for a living. That's not even, those aren't tips. Those aren't like, that's just, they feel connected because they see me doing it. It's a little more vulnerable. Don't be perfect, be vulnerable. And the third tip is be consistent, okay? You can't throw something up once every 2 months and then wonder why nothing's happening and nobody's engaging. You can't only throw your own stuff up there and not go engage with other people's stuff and try to create conversation and say nice things and do this stuff. We actually use, in our office here, we use a tool called Airtable, which is an app, and we actually schedule a lot of content. We schedule a lot of videos of mine that go out. We schedule those kind of things. We do not allow them to go out automatically, and that's a crucial point, okay? I can vividly remember somebody was using one of those tools where it automatically posts, and then something tragic happened in the world, and their post went up right after, and it looked completely insensitive. They didn't mean it, but that's what it looks like. And so we have a lot of things that are scheduled, especially with Instagram and such, which is much more motivational and that stuff. And then I just have things that I do spur of the moment, that I'm just feeling it at that moment and I do it. But we do the schedule as well, where we know where we're going to be going in the coming weeks and the coming months, because it's important for me, just like I'm telling you, to be consistent. So use a tool, but use it in a way that's actually going to benefit you, okay? Now, I can't talk about this topic without also dealing with the reality that so many of you think about the social media world. I said earlier, a lot of you stay away because you think that it's just a place where people are perfect, right? And I don't go on there because it's just everybody's perfect world, and I know that it's not true, and I know it's not whatever, and I'm going to tell you that's not why I think you actually stay away. Think of it like this. When people created silverware, people didn't stop using knives the first time some maniac went and murdered someone with a knife. People didn't stop using spoons or something the first time somebody started shoveling bad food into their mouth. That wasn't the issue, okay? And so yeah, do people get on here and act perfect? And do people get on here and say things that aren't true? Do people get on? Absolutely. But that is not a reason to not use the tool when it can have such an amazing impact in your world, in your business. And the funny thing is that many times the thing you were avoiding, that you were trying to stay away from that connection, you were trying to not put things out there, to not engage, all of a sudden you start to like it. You start to realize that these relationships with people are real. These things that so many people say where they go, well, those aren't even real relations. They're not my real friends. How can anyone have 1,200 friends? Let me ask you a question. How many real friends do you have? Like, if we got as critical about social that we do in our real life, or we got as critical in our real life as we do in social, we wouldn't talk to anyone. Like, think about the conversations you have with your real friends. How often have you walked up to someone in real life, so now it's okay because it's not on social, and started talking about the weather because you didn't know what else to talk about? How many times did you ask, how's the job? What are you doing? And you're just buying time. So I guess that's not a real relationship. What I'm saying is apply the same filter that you are applying to your real life to social. Those people are real friends. But this isn't 20 years ago where you had to go sit down and have coffee for 20 minutes to feel like you were connected. You can do that with thousands of people at scale all the time by leveraging it correctly, by being vulnerable, and by being consistent on a regular basis with your stuff, okay? So here's what I want you all to do. Like I said, go to connectwithjared.com, see the kinds of things that I post, ask questions, ask whatever, but here's what I want you to do. In the comments below, I want you to write, what is the main platform you've been on, and what are you going to get on going forward? Thanks so much, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Talk to you soon. Hey there, you, and I am talking to you in particular, person that made it to the end of my video. It means the world to me. But if you made it to the end, I'm hoping that you'll take a second and subscribe right here. Make sure you share that with all your friends, by the way. They're in real estate, sales, entrepreneurial, whatever it happens to be. By the way, if you're looking for a speaker for your upcoming event, click right here to get some more information. And as usual, if you have a question you want me to personally respond, just connect on social. You can click right over here and see all the platforms I'm on. I hope to hear from you soon. Have a great one.